at a time when actors were sort of expected to fit a frame, you did this unexpected role and even won the best villain award, if I'm not wrong, for that.
I was super happy about that. I don't think anybody else has won it after that. um, it was honestly, it was something that, I was just like, oh my God, what a cool twist. And I loved the script. And I think I said I'd do the film in the first narration itself. So I think Rajiv was just really, really sweet. He was a cool guy. He came home, narrated the film to me, and we had a great time making the film. And I think it just, like I said, went on. We did all these things, we made all these decisions, and we had fun doing it. And I didn't look back to see what it could become or what it should become, honestly. We didn't take the decision from that standpoint. But yeah.
Does that that ability or that thought process of not of of actually gravitating towards risk, not by choice but coincidentally, has that maintained? Have you always been open to any idea what may come, even today when you make your content choices?
Definitely, no two ways about it. I think as an actor, because I mean, you've done so many films, and you've done all different kinds of films. I've run around the trees also. I've done the 6 scenes in the film also, and the 7 songs. And I've done films that have been based on me, and I've done titular roles. I've done the twin thing. So, I mean, it's you have a huge big battery of films that you have done, and you have to find something different every time. You have to find something new in it, otherwise it'll get too boring. And I don't want to come on a set ever and be bored. I don't want that to happen to me.
One must have recreated that iconic green outfit. The groom must have danced on that song, right? So it is that emotion that we have all had. For someone who did that role as a 20-year-old something, now 3 decades later, about three decades later, you know, um, how does that make you feel? How does that make you rethink about this heavy word we very casually use, legacy?
I'll say this again because I keep saying it. I don't know how to thank people enough, really, because when we started the film, all we wanted was to make a good film, to make a hit film. All we wanted at that point of time was for it to do well, reasonably well, and for it to just run, and for it to still be remembered, become iconic, and become the longest running film in the world, was something that we could never have prepared for or anticipated, or for that matter even thought about or even wished for. If you had asked us what we could wish the film to be, I don't think any of us could have verbalized what the film became. So I'd say that I say thank you to all those people who have made it a part of their families, a part of their tradition, a part of just, I've met people who've said that, "Arey, humne picture dekhi thi, we fell in love watching DDLJ, and now we have kids, and now their kids have kids." I mean, like, that's really old. But like I said, it's something that we have. I mean, I don't think that we anticipated or even could have anticipated exactly what the film would become.
When we look at your work, your growth as an actor, your rise, the rise in your career, it also coincided with India's liberalization in the 90s, right? So as we often put it, India was finding its confident voice at that time. Do you think characters such as Simran, Anjali, or as a matter of fact, Mandira in My Name is Khan, do they reflected sort of the emotional evolution of a more confident India?
I think India has been trying. Indian women, I would say, Indian cinema. Women have been trying to speak forever. We've been trying forever. We've had so many movies even before DDLJ, for that matter, before a Simran or a Mandira or a whoever came along. Uh, you had so many iconic films from a Mother India today, from a Mother India to Main Chup Nahi Rahungi, to so many films. So I think, and some of the most iconic films, in fact, have been where women have been very, very strong characters. I think that's one of the greatest things about our film industry, that where you've had films that have done well or have been very, very well appreciated. The women characters have been really, really strong and have spoken up. So yes, I think Simran is the people who liked Simran. I think were too shy to come up to me and tell me that Simran was somebody that they believed in. I think Anjali at that point of time was somebody that a lot of people associated with. So I have a lot more people coming up to me and telling me that, oh my God, Anjali was exactly like me at that point of time. So yes, but she was more of the burn the bra till she started wearing the sari. That's another conversation for another time, though. But yeah, and then you had Mandira later, and you had Tribhanga coming through, and now of course you have Ma, whatever. But I'm saying that the society has changed. Women around have changed. And I think we went from yelling and screaming to, I think now it's about quietly finding your power. It's not about yelling and screaming. It's about standing in your power and acknowledging the fact that you have this power and that you deserve it.
Another important development in your career has been your work with OTT. Now, you started OTT with the trial, right? Now, sorry, with the, but in all honesty, when the idea came, were you a little apprehensive? Because as someone who has spent so much of time and who has seen the evolution of cinema overall, were you apprehensive about doing an OTT?
Uh, I would say that I didn't want it to be. My first OTT was Tribhanga. And I didn't want it to be whatever I did. I always wanted to have a certain quality. I wanted to have something to back it up. It had to have a certain gravitas. It had to say something. And of course, most important of all, I had to be like 300% interested in it and love it completely. And that's exactly what Tribhanga was. So no, it didn't matter to me that it was on OTT for that matter. So it was more about the script. It was more about what it was saying, all of it put together.
How does that point of view change when we come to NY cinemas? You're also, you and Ajay are also the business owners on that. You're
Right.
investing into the cinema ecosystem, the infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Now, would you want all of us to watch a new movie launched on OTT, or would
See,
you?
I want them to watch it everywhere. I want them to watch it first in the cinemas, and then I want them to go back and watch it on OTT as well. Yeah, I want them to watch it everywhere. I think I think going to the cinemas was at one point of time the only form of entertainment, but not anymore. And OTT is here to stay. OTT is definitely here to stay. We can't get around that fact. But I think cinemas are and will always be a part of our culture. It'll be a part of it's an experience, and we have to look at it as an experience, and that's exactly what NY Cinemas is doing today. We are definitely looking at expanding and of course getting more cinemas, etc. But I think more it's about making it an entire experience. It's not only about you're just going to sit there. No, it's about everything put together.
In your boardroom conversations about NY cinemas, does the concern on the future of cinema chains, considering how aggressive OTT is, and like you said, it's not going anywhere, does that conversation ever come up?
Of course it does. It does. But like I said, I mean, we're concentrating on, putting up a different experience, the right location. It's a lot of things put together. So there are a lot of critical viewpoints that we have to look at in, just like an overview of the whole picture, which has to be looked at. And it's not only about one thing. So I think it's not only about the movie. It's about a lot more than that. So yeah.
Beyond NY cinemas, We see, celebrities considering entrepreneurship as a serious business today. When are you launching a brand? What category, will
I'd,
see a brand?
I'd love to launch a brand, but I think, again, I mean, everybody at this table probably knows launching a brand is, or I think it is difficult. And it is definitely, it has, it has a lot of, you have to consider, taken to consideration a lot of things. So right now, yes, if I had to launch a brand, it would probably be along the lines of something to do with wellness, maybe, or something to do with kids. I haven't really thought about it that much, but I do know for a fact that I see all the startups happening in India, and I'm looking at all the brands, and kudos to all of those people who have started up in the last 5-7 years and made a name for themselves, because it's been a difficult 5-7 years. Yeah, and but they're thriving, they're up and about, and it's amazing to see how many we have today.